2021 has been a challenging year in talent attraction. We've gone from having widespread furlough to stumbling into the Great Resignation, and however you look at things, over the last 12 months, the only thing consistent about the job market has been its unpredictability. So to give everyone a fighting chance of staying abreast of change as we move into a new year, I thought I'd update last year's video about the top 5 recruitment trends to look out for in 2021, with a new incarnation highlighting the 5 critical trends that businesses need to consider as we move into 2022. Hi, it's Emily Gregson here at Signature Career Management, where we help FMCG businesses connect with market-leading talent. If you're new to us, don't forget to hit subscribe and make sure you click the link in the comments below to follow our company page for up-to-date market insight, career advice and recruitment tips and all-round good content. So let's get started. Whether it's flexible working, Zoom interviews, record numbers of job vacancies or extreme candidate shortages, there are few aspects of the talent landscape that have remained untouched by the global pandemic. But with industries struggling to keep up with the pace of change, those that can second-guess emerging trends stand to be well positioned to take advantage of the economic bounce back. So given the benefits that can be realised by correctly predicting how the market is changing, I thought I'd share my insight into the key recruitment trends to look out for in 2022. In this video, I'll outline the 5 most important aspects of talent attraction that will determine the success or failure of the upcoming year, how businesses can approach these challenges to ensure they remain competitive in the job space, and then if you stick around till the end, I'll highlight the single most important element of recruitment strategy that businesses need to incorporate if they want to keep their hiring plans on track. So here's my 5 hiring trends to look out for in 2022. We've gone from getting over 500 applications for every job at the start of the pandemic to adverts barely being able to muster a raised eyebrow now. And this is a symptom of what has become an extremely passive market. But apart from the immediate aftermath of the first wave of the pandemic, the shift towards passive candidates is nothing new. Ever since the job space became hyper-connected with the dawn of the information age, we've seen gradually increasing levels of apathy amongst candidates. And the impact of the last 18 months has compounded these effects even further, with the market shifting as much in the last year as it did in the decade before. What this means for businesses, though, is that a simple job advert or a quick ring round a few agencies has become extremely ineffective at garnering the attention of candidates. As 2022 is going to see candidates become even more passive, businesses and their recruitment partners are going to need to work a lot more closely to identify, approach and attract candidates to their opportunities or risk the opportunity costs that come with protracted recruitment campaigns and prolonged periods of unfilled vacancies. The only plus side to this is that with the proclaimed Great Resignation in full flow, for businesses that modify their approach and find a way to access the passive talent pool, there is a huge opportunity to boost the talent in their teams. The increasingly passive candidate pool is resulting in a huge talent shortage for businesses who are looking to bolster their teams. What this has created is an almost feeding frenzy as businesses clamour to secure talent ahead of their competition. The effect this is having is that candidates are able to be very selective over the opportunities they engage in. So first and foremost, we're seeing wage rises as candidates gain a greater grasp of their market worth. But secondly, this means that candidates are no longer putting up with substandard candidate journeys. In short, if a high level of detail isn't provided about the intricacies of a business and the opportunity within that business, candidates aren't entertaining them. If communication is poor or slow, candidates are being put off. If processes drag on, candidates are pulling out. Candidates have always viewed the recruitment experience as a reflection on the company they are interviewing for. The difference as we move into 2022, though, is that candidates can be far more selective as they are in greater demand. So poor candidate journeys are now blocking businesses' access to talent more than ever. What we'll see moving forward is businesses raising their game and demanding more from their recruitment partners to counter the negative effect that poor candidate experience is having on their access to talent. High levels of detail around roles, teams and cultures, structured and thorough interview stages, effective and efficient levels of communication, and a general all-round professional approach to the recruitment process will deliver hiring organisations a huge advantage in the job market. But to do this, many businesses will need to change how they are working with recruiters to facilitate closer relationships. That means shunning the low-cost, multi-agency approaches that are still surprisingly common and moving towards higher quality recruitment partnerships. As well as providing structured and thorough interview processes, businesses are going to need to ensure that from a logistical point of view, they can provide them in a timely manner. Because when candidates are in high demand, they don't stick around for long. This means that businesses who fail to prepare need to prepare to fail. Because the UK's average 28 days to hire is a long time in the current job space. The danger for businesses who are trying to shorten their lead time of their recruitment process, though, will be that they need to retain a robust methodology unless they want to run the risk of making hasty hiring decisions. Businesses will need to move towards structured search phases that utilise recruitment partners to undertake a full market map rather than the hit and hope methodology of the multi-agency approach. This will enable an effective management of the recruitment processes so that timescales and contingency planning can be implemented based on real-time insight and a complete process overview. The advantage that businesses will have by streamlining their processes with the use of recruitment partners is that they can implement additional screening stages during the search phase and to add extra robustness to their campaigns without negatively impacting the duration of them. This will also contribute towards the final stage of a recruitment campaign, and it will facilitate better communication with HR departments, because when a decision is made, candidates need to be offered, contracts signed, notices handed in, and the process boxed off as quickly as possible. As they say in the recruitment industry, time kills a deal. So for recruitment processes to be successful in 2022, they'll become a lot more streamlined. Obviously, there has been a big shift towards flexible working over the last year, and this actually featured in my recruitment trends for 2021. But as with everything, once the dust has settled, the devil is in the detail, and businesses are going to need to give a lot of consideration to the arrangements they put in place if they want to stay competitive in the war for talent. Candidates won't just want to know how many days they will be in the office and how many days they can work from home, but they'll want to know how businesses are going to deliver this without harming learning and development opportunities, collaboration, innovation and creativity, whilst also mitigating against proximity bias. Ultimately, businesses are going to need to have detailed and demonstrable hybrid working strategies in place if they want to attract the best talent to their teams, because simply saying that you can work from home 3 days a week is unlikely to cut it as the wider industry start to develop comprehensive remote working policies. Getting the right blend between having employees in the business enough to experience the benefits that this brings whilst providing the flexibility to attract talent is going to be a balancing act. This will require market insight about what candidates are attracted to and how this stacks up against the wider market. And the easiest way to do this is to build a close, exclusive relationship with a recruitment partner who has their finger on the pulse. Then build a mutually beneficial working relationship that enables you to extricate their market insights. Because let's face it, if you're still plugging away with the multi-agency approach in 2022, none of them will be spending time compiling this information for you while their competition are running around trying to harvest CVs. Culture has overtaken remuneration as a top consideration of candidates when considering a new role, but unfortunately for businesses, bottom line, this hasn't been at the detriment of salary expectations. In fact, higher levels of job vacancies combined with talent shortages has actually pushed salaries up, which means businesses are going to need to place even greater emphasis on honing, communicating their company culture, unless they want to end up paying inordinate amounts of money in salaries to attract talent. The rise in remote working has added greater challenges to influencing organisational culture, and this means that businesses are going to need to take a multifaceted approach whilst being more proactive about developing their teams. Primarily, if businesses want to be competitive in the job space, they need to nurture and develop diverse and inclusive cultures, because they don't just promote organisational success, but they're also attractive to candidates. Secondly, though, it's going to be critical that they communicate their key strengths into the marketplace. This will require a few different approaches and will need HR and marketing departments to work closely to develop and communicate their employer brands. But in the case of businesses that utilise outside agencies for approaching talent, they're going to need to develop far more collaborative relationships, which is only going to work if there is commitment on both sides. This is going to require a step change from traditional transactional relationships, but as long as these businesses can find an agency partner who can deliver consistency and who they can build trust with, once they start to realise the benefits of this arrangement, they will be far more effective in the talent market as we move through 2022. So what's the answer to all of these challenges? How can you attract passive candidates? Offer a premium candidate experience but keep your processes streamlined? Promote your hybrid strategy whilst effectively communicating your culture? Well, the key to all of these solutions is detail. It is the detail that separates your opportunity to the glut of others out there and what will really entice passive candidates to make that move and apply. It's attention to detail that facilitates a premium candidate experience while simultaneously keeping your process streamlined. And it is a detailed understanding of the intricacies of your business that will enable you to communicate your hybrid strategy and your culture to the marketplace to capture the imagination of top-tier talent. And what this means, especially for those utilising outside agencies, is that they're going to need to build a closer relationship with their recruitment partners to strengthen the lines of communication that propagate heightened levels of detail. Like with anything in life, when the going gets tough, and trust me, recruitment is tough at the moment, you need to allocate greater resources to overcome the challenges. So businesses are going to need to invest in their recruitment strategies if they want to stay competitive in the job space in 2022. But the one good thing that comes from the heightened level of detail that is required to compete is that it acts as a barometer for success when picking a recruitment agency to partner with. Because if they're not pushing you for detail or challenging you to answer more questions, how the hell are they going to help you to be effective in the job market? So those are my top recruitment trends to look out for in 2022. Hit subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below, make sure you follow our LinkedIn company page, and be sure to look out for lots more great recruitment advice over the upcoming year.